When I beat you on power rule, you going to bed, nigga. That's gonna teach you to respect real niggas.
Don't get tucked in. Pussy.
Bitch, I got money now.
To get promotion on the channel, please contact PatRock1982 at gmail.com. I promote all brands, businesses, YouTube channels to help therapists. Anything, any type of brand, just have an online link because I can't support you if they got no way to reach you online. Please donate to the channel, $Dwayne McClain TV. I'm trying to go to war with the Illuminati, and I cannot do that without any finances backing me up. So please donate to the channel. It's the boy. Y'all go follow my boy. I am Badlands Guardians. He's helping the boy Dwayne McClain fight the fight out here, exposing these sellouts. He's helping the boy out, man. He got his own content coming up. Y'all see there, he got, shares a rich man. He also got another video out talking about hip-hop poop shoot boys. He be putting in that work, man. Also, y'all go follow my boy. I am Badlands Guardians. His link will be in the description box. It's the boy. What's the deal? It's your boy Dwayne McClain at Dwayne McClain TV, the #1 Illuminati exposer in the world. That's right, I am #1, man. Nobody does this better than me. And after this breakdown, this is going to solidify my spot. All right, so this is going to be my breakdown on the blonde hair ritual. Okay, I'm pretty much going to go through and explain why we see so many rappers, entertainers, bloggers, athletes always rocking blonde hair. Okay. I want to break it down from where it came from, how it started, what does it mean, everything. All right, like I said at the end of this video, there should be no argument that I'm the #1 Illuminati exposer in the world. There should be no argument. So if you somebody out there right now and you texting some bitches, stop texting them bitches right now, okay? You're not about to get no pussy anyway. Put the text message app down and watch this YouTube. If you a female, you hitting up niggas, them niggas is broke, they lying, baby, they ain't got no money. Put that text message app down and pick this YouTube up and watch this video, man. Y'all my niggas, man, but y'all really got to pay attention to keep up because there's going to be a lot of information coming at y'all being thrown fast on why these rappers are rocking blonde hair. All right, it has to do way more with a fucking culture or a fucking, what's it called, like trying to make a point or, it's way more than just fashion. It actually means something behind that shit. And what it means is it's really going to be really mind-boggling, all right? So I hope you guys are ready to keep up what's going on. And we're going to get to this breakdown, man, what it means, what's the meaning behind this blonde hair ritual. So first, I have to start out to where it first all started. So to understand the blonde hair ritual, we first got to start off with this This nigga right here, Adolf Hitler. This motherfucker was notorious for destroying the oobs and also the Holocaust and all the other bullshit that, that's going to have the algorithm going crazy, that we can't say. But he was big time for all that shit. One of the main things that he was notorious for was starting the Aryan race or the master race, where you would have to have blonde hair and blue eyes, all right? This dude right here, his hair wasn't blonde, but he believed into that. I think his hair was like either you want to consider a dirty-ass blonde, but he was notorious for having these powdery blue eyes. He was notorious for it. And he was into like this thing with the Aryan race where there's this master race of people that comes down and they're the master race. You must have blonde hair and blue eyes. And it's part of the brainwashing, okay? And these Nazis were notorious and pretty much the very first ones to ever start MKUltra, mind control programming, okay? So this is dot #1. We at puzzle piece #1. You got to understand that the Nazis were the first ones to ever start or to do all this human experimenting and all this other shit. It started with the Nazis, okay? And I'm going to prove that to you that it started with the Nazis, all right? Now, this right here is an excerpt that I found about Adolf Hitler, basically pertaining to his ideal of the pure blood or the pure race or the Aryan race, all right? So let me get my Morgan Freeman on and read this for you, all right? It says, Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi party, argued that Germans was superior to all other races. Hitler became obsessed with the racial purity and used the word Aryan to describe his idea of a pure German race or Herrenvolk. The Aryan race had a duty to control the world. The Nazis believed that the Aryans had the most pure blood of all the people on earth. The ideal Aryan had pale skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes. non-Aryan came to seen as impure and evil, and even evil. Hitler believed that Aryan superiority was being threatened, particularly by the Oobs. Therefore, a hierarchy of races was created with the Aryans at the top, with the Oobs, Gypsies, and etc. at the bottom. These inferior people were seen as a threat to the purity and strength of the German nation. I ain't even about to put my say that black people at the bottom. We ain't about to say that now. That's why I looked at that part and said, oh, and etc. Nah, bro, because Hitler was all, he knew we was at the top in the elite. All right, so now we have the blonde hair and blue eye idea down pat. So now we understand where the blonde comes from. All right, this is step, like I said, this is step one, the blonde hair. Okay, there's also a book that came out that was about Hitler. It's called Blonde Hair and Blue Eyes: Memoirs of Hitler's Chosen Child from the Hell of the Bunkers in Berlin to New York, VIP Playboy Bunny, and the Glamour of Rich and Famous. All right, so basically showing you the obsession of the blonde hair and blue eyes. Like I said, we're still on that blonde. We're going to get to how it leads to the hip-hop entertainers, not in a second, but shortly. All right, y'all keep up. Now, here's another excerpt that I found. It's going to be basically pretty much describing the mind-splitting part of it, okay? It says here that in the Lebensborn policy went even further during World War II. In the countries that Germany occupied, the SS would kidnap children who had blonde hair and blue eyes and take them to the Lebensborn centers. There, they were forced to reject their background and to accept Nazis' teachings. Like I said, splitting the mind right there. You got to reject where you came from and then become the new. Some were told that their parents had abandoned them. In the end, most of them were, however, taken to German concentrations or death camps where they were killed. Others were adopted by the SS families, and the process was known as German Nazation, okay? Like I said, they're going to brainwash you. When you get the blonde hair, you're brainwashed. You're taking on a new persona. You're taking on a new identity. You're taking on a new brain. You're becoming somebody new. That's why we see these people with the blonde hair. They've undergone an extensive amount of MKUltra. Now it's time to connect dot two. We already had the Nazi party establishing the blonde hair, and they also established MKUltra. Now it's time for dot two to establish the fact that the Nazi party helped influence the MKUltra programming, okay? Or the MKUltra program itself. All right, so let me read this summary. This is about a movie called American Mind Control, MKUltra. Y'all can go find this. If you got the Fire Stick, go buy it off of Amazon.com. But watch this movie, okay? It really breaks down a lot about MKUltra. But let me read this quick summary here. It says, Project MKUltra was formed by the CIA, who drugged, raped, tortured, and murdered innocent citizens when after World War II. The U.S. extracted Nazi scientists to perform top-secret testings on human projects. MKUltra was reportedly shut down, but experts reveal it's very much alive today, which it is. So you see that right there. They said the U.S. Extracted Nazi scientists. So the Nazi scientists came over here and started MKUltra, and then they kind of started working for the CIA. So now it's starting to come full circle, okay? Now, this dude right here is probably one of the evilest motherfuckers who ever walked on this earth. This right here is Sidney Gutelib, all right? Sidney Gutelib was an American scientist and spy master who headed the Central Intelligence Agency. So he was over the CIA in the 1950s and 1960s. And he was also known the creator of the Project MKUltra program, okay? So it said 1950s, 1960s assassination attempts and mind control program known as Project MKUltra. Okay, there we go. So he was in charge of that. Yeah, Sidney Gutelib, man. This dude right here is a wild dude. Y'all can look this up. MKUltra was real. These niggas did some wild shit. The same shit the Nazis did, they did it here because the Nazis taught these niggas. All right? Now let's read about Gutelib. Gutelib wanted to create a way to seize control of people's minds. He realized it was a two-part process. First, you had to blast away the existing mind. Second, you had to find a way to insert a new mind into that resulting void. Well, he didn't want to get too far on number two, but he did a lot of work on number one, trying to find out how to destroy the mind of a human being, and that was the purpose of experiments that he carried out in prisons in the United States and secret detention centers in Europe and East Asia. You see that? He said carried out in prisons. Where do most of these rappers end up going? They always end up getting locked up or tied away and end up coming out with blonde hair. All right, so this dude went around in different prisons around the United States getting people, and he ended up brainwashing them and doing all types of wild shit and MKUltra shit on them. All right, you guys got to start adding and connecting the dots on why these rappers always end up going to jail and coming out with blonde hair and their careers seem to take off, or sometimes they even get the blonde hair before then. But let's move on with the excerpt, okay? So this right here is continued on about Gudaleb, and this is somebody who was interviewing, I think, at least talking about his personal life, all right? And they basically just describe it. I think the dude Gross is the interviewer, and the dude Kent Kinzer is the guy who wrote the book on Gudaleb, all right? So it says here, from Gross, he said, and he worked with some pretty high-class torturers, too, from one of the Nazis' doctors and the chief poisoners from Japan during World War II. How did they end up in his program? Kaiser, the dude who wrote the story about Gudaleb, the autobiography, not autobiography, is it I forgot. Anyways, one of the most remarkable discoveries that I made in the research for this book is that the CIA mind control project MKUltra was essentially a continuation of work that began in Japanese and Nazi concentration camps. Not only was it roughly based on those experiments, but the CIA actually hired the vivisectionists and the torturers who had worked in Japan and in Nazi concentration camps to come and explain what they had found out so we could build on their research. So, connecting the dots right there. This is the man who did the research right there, Kinzer. He did the research on this, okay? He said that during his research, he found out that this MKUltra stuff came from the Nazi party. So if you have a program that came from the Nazis, it will explain why when you go up under this programming, you get blonde hair. The Nazis felt like if you were a superior race, you needed blonde hair. So let's continue with the excerpt about Mr. Gudaleb. For example, Nazi doctors had conducted extensive experiments with the mescaline at the Dachau concentration camps, and the CIA was very interested in figuring out whether the mescaline could be the kind to mind control. That was one of their big avenues of the investigation. So they hired the Nazi doctors who had been involved in the project to advise them. Another thing the Nazis provided was information about the poison gas like sarin, which is still being used, okay? So the Nazi doctors they worked right beside the CIA. So we have the Nazis believing in blonde hair, bringing their teachings to the CIA about mind control splitting. And guess what? I'm pretty sure they kept from the Nazis. Now, when you split their mind, you must dye their hair blonde. It is something that is all about the mind control shit. You see yourself a different person in the mirror. It's all about, how you are being groomed and treated through this process. So this dickhead right here, Mr. Gudaleb, I can't believe we let niggas like this motherfucker run rampant in America, but this the shit y'all don't know about. This is shit they keep hidden. We all know about R. Kelly raping these little women, but we don't know about this white motherfucker here who done went around torturing innocent citizens in America, going around torturing mad Y'all, MKUltra was real. Niggas really did these motherfucking tests on people. Really sat there and split motherfuckers' minds open. And they still do it today. This is happening to your favorite rapper, your favorite entertainer. This is happening to everybody, all right? So let's move forward to another motherfucker who was a sick bastard, Joseph Mengele. He was part of the CIA Trauma Brainwashing Center, and we're going to have a female who was up under his program and come out and speak, and it's not her physically speaking, but she did write a paragraph or write a story about her experience dealing with Mr. Joseph Mengele. So we have here Joseph Mengele, part of CIA's trauma brainwashing, all right? So Joseph Mengele on the 38 on the left, it's a tall white dude, and Diamond is a young lady who's going to be talking during this little part I'm about to read to you. And she was given the photo and published in 1949. That's the one in the middle, okay? So this right here is a picture of somebody going through the MKUltra process with the two doctors right there. Now this right here is a piece from that same article that I just showed you with Joseph Mengele. This right here is a piece of it that's in that article. It says here, there are enough consistent accounts of Illuminati trauma-based brainwashing to conclude they are true. Our leaders are not only corrupt, they are depraved. If they can do this to children, I am not surprised about what they have planned for the rest of us. They let a Nazi monster just run rampant around this bitch. Yeah, so they let a Nazi monster, Joseph Mengele, continue torture experiments on Americans. Are they applying MKUltra techniques to society as a whole? 9/11 equals mass trauma brainwashing. I agree. Mengele portable holocane is another indication that a satanic cult, the Illuminati, controlled both sides in World War II. The Illuminati rule by creating false dialectics such as we have today with Putin. Okay, that little paragraph right there in that article explains a lot about what's going on in society today, and I do believe that we are one big, huge psyop. Now, this next paragraph is by the girl Ann Diamond, the one who I showed you in the picture earlier. She's speaking on her experience, or one of her traumas that she had experienced during her MKUltra programming. All right, it states here. When I was used in CP, they used to perm and bleach my dark hair to platinum blonde and style it in ringlets like Shirley Temple. They also put hard contacts in my dark eyes to make them look blue. I'm told these were not available at the time outside of the intelligence community. I was taken to the White House right before JFK was assassinated and offered to JFK sexually. He declined. It is my belief that he knew he was already in danger and that he intended to stop the Nazi Illuminati behind MKUltra. And there's probably more I can say, but I'm too tired to write anymore. So Ann Diamond spilled the beans. She let y'all know that they dyed her hair platinum blonde when they made her do CP. Basically, a entity that was over her that came from the Nazi party still dyed people's hair blonde. All right? Let's really think about this stuff. Now let's learn about Mr. Joseph Mengele. Joseph Mengele, also known as the Angel of Death, was a German Schutzstaffel officer and physician during World War II. He is mainly remembered for his actions as the Auschwitz concentration camp where he performed daily experiments on prisoners and was a member of team doctors who selected victims to be killed in gas. This is the dude who was putting in work on the girl Ann Diamond. This is one of the guys who also helped bring in this MKUltra mind control program and bullshit. He's the one who dyed little girl hair blonde when she had to do CP. All this shit comes from the Nazi party. All right, and y'all be stupid and dumb as hell to believe that Nazis still ain't running this shit. Yeah, that's right. Them niggas is still out running shit. If you watch the movie Civil War, Marvel Avengers, not Civil War, which one was that shit with the motherfucking nigga with the metal arm? Not Civil War. What's that shit? Winter Soldier. In Winter Soldier, it shows you at the end, all Hydra members were still very relevant in today's society. So that lets you know, Nazi members still out this bitch rocking in 2021, still rocking. You be dumb as hell to believe these niggas don't go home and say, moves on Wunschkin. You know what I'm saying? You guys is dumb. All right, so now let's put the connection with the CIA in Hollywood. Now let's start bringing in MKUltra in Hollywood all in one circle. So now we have Nazi step 1, MKUltra step 2, then CIA step 3. Now the CIA is in Hollywood, so basically the MKUltra and the CIA program are always linked in one. That's where we had Mr. Gutelib, all right? He was over the CIA. So now we have CIA in Hollywood, step 3, all right? So how did he get into Hollywood? Why do we see so many entertainers with blonde hair? This right here is explaining, okay? When the CIA infiltrated Hollywood, there's a new book exposed an incestuous relationship between the two and the extent to which they both feed us propaganda. So this right here is basically explaining that the CIA has infiltrated Hollywood, aka the entertainment industry. So if the CIA is in Hollywood and the CIA, it helps usher in MKUltra, which is from the Nazis, that means they are doing MKUltra in Hollywood if the CIA is in there. All right, this movie Argo with Ben Affleck help explain this. And Ben Affleck is down in them boys as well. It helped explain how the CIA has their hand in every pot and every other thing. The CIA helped bring LSD to America. The CIA helped bring crack cocaine to America. The CIA has their hand in a lot of different pots. All right. Now this right here is an excerpt. I'm not reading all this from me. I'm going to read the top one. It says, this right here is like basically an article that I found and somebody did extensive research on. I have read the entire thing. They did extensive research on the CIA's affiliation with Hollywood and how much they use and put propaganda in movies, okay? So the title says, The CIA in Hollywood, How the Agency Shaped Films and Television by Trika Jenkins, okay? It says here, in the mid-1990s, the CIA faced an external crisis. And basically saying that they always look like evil, bad motherfuckers, so they use Hollywood to make themselves look good. But these motherfuckers is in Hollywood like crazy. There's another little article that I found. It says the CIA owns everyone of any significance in the major media. So the CIA owns everybody in this bitch. Basically, that's why you see these niggas with the blonde hair. That's letting you know the CIA runs me. I'm CIA's bitch. The CIA run everybody in Hollywood. It runs everybody in politicians. Who else didn't Epstein worked for the CIA. He was a some type of spy, some type of shit, having that type of shit on lock. All right, so let's do a recap real quick before we move to the next part. So okay, so it started with Hitler, and with the Oobs, and his ideologies and the beliefs in the Aryan race that had blonde hair and blue eyes, and then after World War II, the United States brought in some Nazis, and we brought them over to our programs, and we used their intelligence. And Mr. Sidney Goodlib here, he sided with them. He actually was probably with the team and with the set. I think he was a Nazi, if you ask me. And he came over here and started the CIA. So he brought Nazi teachers and brought him over to the CIA and started MKUltra programming. The CIA found a way to infiltrate Hollywood and continue to use the MKUltra programming in Hollywood and on certain entertainers. All right. So I'm about to show you a clip of Roseanne talking about how MKUltra runs Hollywood. Y'all pay close attention to what she says. All right. Then we're going to break down how Hollywood is being ran by the CIA, by the MKUltra programming. Okay.
And it's a big culture of mind control too. MKUltra mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
Well, we've talked about Operation Mock.
And it's a big culture of mind control too. MKUltra mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
Well, we've talked about Operation Mock.
Now, we are on this lady here, Mrs. Marilyn Monroe. She's probably one of the first ones to come to be up under MKUltra programming. I want to argue and say it was Shirley Temple, but for blonde hair purposes, for this video, blonde hair purposes, we're going to stick with Mrs. Norma Jean here and Mr. Marilyn Monroe, all right? So read this quote that Mr. Marilyn Monroe said. She said, Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. I know because I turned down the first offer often enough and held out for the 50 cents. So she coming out and let you know that you got to sell your soul to get into Hollywood. With the blonde hair, all that shit, all adds up. Going up under the mind control, getting your brain split up. All right. A lot of people didn't know that Marilyn Monroe was actually a brunette. She actually had brown hair before she came in. But they put a lot of bullshit talking about, well, she dyed her hair blonde because around that time you couldn't take good pictures and shit and all the other shit, so you had to have blonde hair. A bunch of bullshit. She dyed her hair blonde because she went up on the MKUltra programming and she became a beta sex kitten for the Hollywood elite. All right? What y'all see right here? Blonde hair with the checkerboard pattern. I told y'all yesterday that I got more, nigga. I got more in the clip of the blonde hair with the checkerboard pattern all in one. I got more. They've been doing this shit for years. So don't think it's a coincidence. You see all these motherfuckers who are entertainers with blonde hair and miraculously rocking white and black pattern. All right? It's been going on since the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, wherever the fuck Marilyn Monroe time was. Wherever time she took this damn picture. Blonde hair with a checkerboard pattern. I understand some dickhead in the conversation. Well, in the 70s, man, then they had the mean designs, man. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Illuminati, nigga. Shut the hell up. Now let's move on with about Norma Jean. All right, so now this is about her becoming blonde. This is the bullshit story that they gave us. They said becoming blonde. Soon enough, Emmeline Snivel, the head of the Blue Book model agency, told Norma Jean that if she wanted to work more, she would have to bleach her hair. After all, according to Snively, brunettes could only be photographed a limited number of ways, while a blonde could be anything. So that's the shit they try to put in your head. That, a blonde could be, you know what I'm saying? Keywords, that a blonde could be anything, all right? The last word, today's Marilyn Monroe remains the definitive platinum siren of Hollywood's golden era. Her biography is collage of stories, some true and some creative concoctions of her blonde bombshell persona created by Hollywood studios. See that keyword? Blonde bombshell persona created by Hollywood. Created. But ultimately, Monroe had the final word on her infamous hair. In her posthumous autobiography titled My Story, she wrote, in Hollywood, a girl's virtue is much less important than her hair. Than her hairdo. You're judged by how you look, not by what you are. Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. I know because I turned down the first offer often enough and held out for the 50 cents. All right? So she was really big on that shit. Let you know that, hey, they sell your fucking soul in that bitch. She went through a lot. Now, far as doing a whole breakdown on on Miss Norma Jean here. She got to have her own personal video to where I can get real deep into talking about how her brainwashing was, her MKUltra was, you know what I'm saying, her being in a beta sex kitchen for JFK. But right now for this video, we only talking about the blonde hair, all right, and how she was a front for the dumb blonde persona, all right. I ain't gonna lie, growing up, I used to look at Marilyn Monroe like, bro, she ain't even all that bad, but niggas is going crazy over her. But all you girls with Marilyn Monroe in y'all pictures and y'all rooms and shit for decorations, let me know that you a motherfucking thought, all right. So fellas, if you pull up to a girl place and she got Marilyn Monroe in her room and or anywhere in her house, just know this is easy money. This is buckets. All right, all you girls idolizing that. It wasn't her fault though. She was MKUltra up. All right. And now let's fast forward. Now we already got Marilyn Monroe out the way. We already got the fact that CIA is in Hollywood. What makes you think the CIA ain't in the hip hop industry? Soulja Boy claims he was the first rapper with blonde hair and Nike Air Max, and I agree. Soulja Boy was down with them boys. Soulja Boy was the first to a lot of shit. I think Soulja Boy was probably one of the first prototypes and we was given a fake life by him, but he's probably been a secret agent the whole motherfucking time. But, you know, I think Soulja Boy too dumb to be a goddamn agent. And Soulja Boy, you a baddie boy, man. When I do a breakdown of your ass, motherfucker, I am using this picture, nigga. You are a Betty boy, nigga. You and Cisco, bitch ass. Cisco is another one of these niggas, but I don't think Cisco went no MKUltra. I think Cisco is just a motherfucking homosexual, man. He's like dyes her blonde, bro. Anyway, so let's move on to the satanic cult awareness thing that I found, where it also has a good part talking about blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, the reason why I'm showing this, because earlier we just said that it's a satanic cult being ran, that's run the world right now. And I've been saying that the hip hop is being ran by a satanic cult, and that the entire world is getting ran by a satanic cult, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But there's a key part in this thing that talks about blonde hair and blue eyes, all right? All right, so in the back of the book, they list all their satanic dates and what each date they do a ritual on. Okay, so October 31st, so Halloween, the celebration is All Hallows Eve, Saham Alamin Sabbath Festival, announced an onset of two of the most important Sabbaths. Attempts are made to break the bonds holding closed doors to the underworld. Key word, break the bonds holding doors to the underworld. Break the mind, split the head, split the brain, okay? Type, blood sensual, association with demons. Ceremony, animal/human sacrifice. Age, any age, male/female. If he or she should be blonde with blue eyes, okay? Occult, satanic, okay? So their attempts to break the bonds holding closed doors to the underworld. Basically, break the bonds holding the doors to your different mind, all right? And they got to sacrifice somebody with blonde hair and blue eyes, all right? Who's to say that it got to be natural blonde? It could be a motherfucker with his hair dyed blonde with some contacts in, and they'll murk your ass the fuck off, all right? So there's been a whole lot of this blonde hair, blue eye shit popping up. Now let's move forward to another article that I found about Mr. Kanye West, and it says here, Kanye West blonde hair and the psychologically of celebrities' post-trauma hair changes, okay? These post-trauma hair changes are a way for public figures to suggest that they've undergone a transformation, according to industry psychotherapist Dennis Palumbo. This man, Dennis Palumbo, is down with the shits. He's saying that they undergone suggest they undergone a transformation, okay? No, he know what transformation they're talking about. The MKUltra mind control, mind splitting transformation. That's what Mr. Palumbo's talking about. I'm pretty sure he had his hand in the pot during their MKUltra programming. Now let's continue. It says, for people in the public eye, when you go into rehab, have a traumatic experience like being robbed, go through a painful and very public divorce, or have a career disaster of another kind, looking different is a way to demonstrate, even unconsciously, that they have a different persona, the Sherman Oaks, Cali-based doctor explains to Hollywood Reporters. He's a doctor in California, so this is their personal doctor. Of course, he's going to try to find some type of political way to explain this shit, but go through a very painful, key word, the celebrities go through a very painful, and and they use this way as demonstrate as a way, even unconsciously, to have a different persona. Different persona. But I want you guys to understand, like I said, when these people are going through this MKUltra shit, usually they end up having a different name, their mind split, and they usually end up dyeing their hair blonde, end up in something dealing with a rebirth. I apologize. I apologize for the stuttering, y'all. Y'all know I stutter. So let me finish reading this for you. It said, it indicates I've gone through fire and come out the other end with this new look, asked Palumbo. who has been treating Hollywood patients for more than 25 years. I think it's a sign both to themselves and their audience, the public, is like a makeover psychologically. All right, let's continue. The change in appearance is also one way to heal. I think for anyone, celebrity or not, who undergoes a rehab experience or a fairly traumatic event in their life, part of the healing process is the sense of forward momentum that they have had changes outwardly and hopefully inwardly, okay? I can believe some of the stuff he's saying. He has I'll play devil's advocate, understand that, yeah, there might be some truth to this, but this is a ploy they like throw up in your face when they show you these celebrities with the blonde hair. So all these motherfucking celebrities, all 100 of them, went through a crazy event and all of them decided that, hey, I'm going to dye my hair blonde. No, not everybody who goes through some type of crazy event says, hey, you know what? The solution to my trauma, I'm going to dye my hair blonde, man. That's like going to work. Yeah, man, I lost my wife, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I had a bad day, you know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to dye my hair blonde. And then I have a bad day, I'm going to dye my hair blonde. You don't see this in the streets like that. Every once in a while you do, but you don't see it like that in the streets. And you let this motherfucking therapist here tell you, trying to lead you off the straight, the fact these motherfuckers up under MKUltra, he's going to have you thinking that these people are just depressed, man. That's why they dyed their hair blonde. No. They're under MKUltra. They have their mind split, and these motherfuckers are practicing Nazi practices. Suck my motherfucking bleep. Now, moving forward, this is another article that I found regarding the blonde hair ritual. And you can actually go on MTV.com and find this. How I found it, I just typed in MTV blonde hair, and this came up. And it says here, blonde hair ambition, how male pop stars use hair dye to signal rebirth and renewal. No. Yes and no. Not in the rebirth or renewal as this is a new life. But why the hell would every male artist decide to dye their hair blonde when they want to become something new? It makes no sense. It makes no individuality. It clearly shows you that there's a secret society up here that everybody has and must do the same exact bullshit to stay into this realm of Hollywood. You must dye your hair blonde. You must become renewed. You must destroy your old mind and get a new mind, okay? That's a part of MKUltra teaches what I told you in the very beginning. The dude focused on how to split the fucking mind. Okay, and explains here, nothing marks evolution like the power of bleach. Almost as most of us know firsthand, and all of us have seen in pop culture, transformation through box dye, highlights, lowlights, and Kool-Aid have marked rebrands and life stages, ushering in a 2-point version of pop stars with a new and improved fresh coat of paint. This is especially true if it's as the hands or the head of a guy. Okay, so basically they're saying, oh, this is even worse with males, and I agree. Okay, so basically most women can dye their hair blonde, but not most men. All right, so it continues to read on. Despite its complexity, there's a reason that bleach most often functions as a slate cleaner, whether in appearance, makeover, or intentions. I'm new. Regardless of how we spin it, blonde succeeds at erasing the past so the wearer can take on a new identity. But when it comes to men specifically, we fixate on the hair because we're not used to seeing them embrace such huge aesthetic changes, Pierce. To bleach is to transcend and all looks by absorbing them, not just grand gestures, but also as an artistic statement. It's a fresh page, a new canvas. It's the fastest way for men to reset while still telling us that they're bold enough to do something drastic. And then after they get sick of it, they shave it off and start again. They basically gave you all the rituals right there. So they basically break down how this blonde hair shit works. They dye their hair blonde with their new version. When they get tired of, they shave their head. How many times we've seen these guys go blonde and grow their hair out, then shave their head bald? All right, that one paragraph of the MTV website told you how all this shit really works, how all this shit really goes down, what's all this shit's all about, why we see so many different celebrities with blonde hair. They are all becoming new versions of themselves. They're all getting rid of the old and becoming the new. What did I read it to you earlier into the excerpt about how Buddy was so focused on getting rid of one mind and making another mind. All these celebrities are controlled MKUltra assets. Now let's move on to the miscellaneous honorable mention of the video regarding the blonde hair ritual, one of the dots that I connected on my own. We noticed how we had the popular Dragon Ball Z series, and it had a race on there called the Saiyans. Saiyans, Aryans, Saiyans, Aryans. The Aryan race was this pure race. The Saiyans were like this very strong race, and when they become to their one of their top forms, they get blonde hair and blue eyes miraculously. And I always thought that as a kid, like, yo, I remember learning about the Nazis, like, damn, blonde hair, blue eyes. I watched Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, blonde hair, blue eyes. What's the connection? Come to find out, Dragon Ball Z is a very esoteric, very, very Illuminati show. They had a lot of Illuminati symbolism throughout, and this blonde hair, blue eyes is one of them. You know what I'm saying? I could actually do a whole Illuminati breakdown on actually Dragon Ball Z, but you know, we'll say that for another day. Say it for another day. But let's actually talk about, really think about what's going on with Dragon Ball Z. All right. Now, a few things I noticed that I want to point out just to help my argument for this little bonus part is that Dragon Ball Z had a character on here called Mr. Satan. All right. And the Japanese version, they called it, over here in America, we call him Hercule, but in the Japanese version, everybody said Satan, all right? So yeah, he was, that's one of the parts of where Dragon Ball Z has some type of Illuminati connection to it. All right, and then if you look here on the GT series, when they pulling up, you see they had a car with Satan on it, had a 666 on it, all right? And, you know, people say GT isn't canon. It was still Dragon Ball Z name on that bitch, all right? And they pulling up with that car. So Dragon Ball Z had some type of Illuminati background to it, and we're going to try to actually bring full circle to the reason why Goku and then had the blonde hair and shit. Now, Dragon Ball Z was made by this dude, Akira Toriyama, all right? Now, Akira Toriyama is Japanese, all right? This is his Wikipedia page, and it says he is a Japanese manga artist and character designer. So he's from Japan, all right? Now, here's some key information I'm pretty sure y'all didn't know. Guess who had ties and who was alliance with the Nazis back in World War II? Guess who it was? It wasn't Russia. It wasn't Poland. It was the fucking Japanese. They were cool with the Nazis. And I think I hinted at it earlier in one of my parts of this video where I was talking about how they got the MKUltra practices from the Nazis in Japanese concentration camps. So Japan and the Nazis actually have an allegiance. So it would really wouldn't be shocking to me that Akira Toriyama actually might have some type of liking or some type of infatuation with the Nazi party. Cause see, now look, it's in his heritage too. It's in his heritage, all right? And he says here, it says the big question I wanted to address is how Germany and Japan became allies before the Second World War under the aggressive anti-foreign tenets of their government law said. And basically it said laws examine culture and media outlets of Germany and Japan leading up to the pact that created Tokyo-Berlin axis, all right? The book is the first of its kind to draw sources such as newspaper, films, magazine, textbooks from 3 different languages. So basically, it's adding everything up from how Japan and Germany both got cool. But like I said, it always just baffled me as a kid. Like, damn, Goku got blonde hair, blue eyes. They said the master race got to have blonde hair, blue eyes. Why is when he turned Super Saiyan, his hair went blonde hair and blue? Connect the dots. The curator of this motherfucker was Japanese. So allegedly, hypothetically speaking, he might have an infatuation with the Nazi party because that's where he's fucking from. You know, that's his heritage and shit. Who's to say? I'm just saying, throwing it out there, maybe. But I'm pretty sure this blonde hair, blue eyes has something to do with that motherfucking Nazi shit. Don't get me the motherfucking line about the shit, all right? So back to these goddamn celebrities, these motherfucking sellouts. This Illuminati breakdown on the blonde hair ritual, for me to explain it all for you in layman's term, it basically means that these celebrities are being controlled by the CIA under heavy MKUltra programming, and they use their blonde hair to let you guys know that, let the world know that they all have been through their rebirth and mind control programming process, all right? Because MKUltra mind control was started by, in the 1950s by Mr. Johnny, whatever that nigga named Gudalib, and Gudalib was focused on learning how to destroy one mind, control human minds, how to destroy the front mind and focus on building up the second mind, all right? And now they have gotten so advanced and they know how to split up the multiple different minds into one. You got your beta 6 kitten mind, you got your alpha, you got your beta mind, you got your delta mind, you got all these different minds they can split you up in. It's almost like VMware on a computer, like how you can have a desktop, but you can have another desktop on your desktop, for all my IT nerds out there, all right? So that's to complete everything for you, to sum it all up for you. You have Hitler who was infatuated with the Aryan race, who had blonde hair and blue eyes. He started a Nazi party where there was a bunch of very, very smart scientists who did a lot of torture experiments and a lot of crazy shit. Basically did the pre-made prototype version of MKUltra. World War II was ended. United States hired a lot of Nazi scientists and a lot of Nazis intelligence over here in America. That's how NASA got started. Y'all really need to learn about Project Paperclip. This is how NASA got started, and then they also brought some of those scientists to work for the CIA. Mr. Goodlib was probably one of the Nazis, even though he was fluish. Now, we have Nazis inside the CIA doing the same exact practices that they did at the concentration camps, and it all involved starting and splitting the minds, which created MKUltra. The CIA eventually found a way to infiltrate Hollywood, and they started doing MKUltra on the actors, celebrities, and entertainers to keep them controlled so they can control everybody else in society. So moving forward, now they're in Hollywood and they can actually put a little stamp down. Moving forward, everybody who comes into Hollywood must go through the MKUltra program. Not everybody, but most, especially the ones you see with the blonde hair. The blonde hair, reason why it's still blonde is because it has a lot to do with the Nazi practices and the early MKUltra practices. And it's also a symbol for the bleach, you're fresh, you're brand new. They bleach your hair. You are a different person. You're reborn. A lot of these celebrities are letting us know that they are not themselves or who they originally used to be. They have all went and undergone some type of blonde hair, some type of mind-splitting MKUltra programming, all right? So this right here has to be the most detailed video on the MKUltra mind control blonde hair video out there. It ain't the cleanest. Y'all know me, man. I'm a real nigga, man. I ain't about to be out here, you know what I'm saying? On this bitch trying to edit every word and take out every little... Bitch, y'all gonna get me real. Y'all gonna get me stuttering. Y'all gonna get me messing up big words. Y'all gonna get me mispronouncing shit. I'm a real human being, bitch, and I ain't on this motherfucker to let y'all know that I'm perfect, man. I'm just like y'all, a regular nigga out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, but besides that, the information is there. The information is there. I found the information on it, and I put it all together, man. Nobody else put a blonde hair ritual breakdown like the boy Dwayne McClain, man. It's probably going to be the best ones out there. You're not going to find nothing better than this. Now, think about it like this right here. All these celebrities ain't dying in here blind just for no motherfucking reason. There's way too many celebrities out here, way too many of them for it to be a coincidence. For the regular person out there, the sheeple, none of this shit is coincidence. Get out my face. Stop trying to defend these celebrities. They all sellouts, and they do not have society's best interest. And there's one big, gigantic satanic cult running the hip-hop entertainment industry, all right? So this pretty much going to conclude my video on the blonde hair ritual breakdown. I know I did a lot of reading. Let me know what I could have done better in this video. Let me know what you liked and did not like in the video. Also, let me know what you want to see later on, all right? Now, if you're going to put up your disagreements, don't be no flat-out dickhead, start calling me names. If you start calling me names and you got a channel, I will go to your channel and I will flame your shit. Because I know for a fact you don't have no real shit going on. For real. Niggas be talking shit on my channel. Click on their channel. These niggas are playing Call of Duty with 2 views. Niggas is on there mukbanging with 2 views. Niggas is eating old ass spaghetti and shit. Niggas is in there smelling like sweat and shit. So... you give me your constructive criticism, but please be respectful, man. You know what I'm saying? I hate to go on your channel and flame. If you ain't got no channel, bitch, you still getting flamed. I ain't said your mama ugly in a minute, but I will say your mama ugly, bro. For real, you about ugly kids. I say it, nigga. But if you like the video, please leave a comment. Fuck with the boy Dwayne McClain. Fuck with the boy. Follow me on Patreon. Follow me on all my other social media outlets. Go to chakradoctor.org. Buy yourself some miracle foods. Get yourself healthy. It's the boy Dwayne McClain TV. I am out. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Take care.